you ever felt like the world is just too loud? Like the constant noise of traffic, arguments, and notifications is just overwhelming?
In a sprawling city, a place of endless hustle and metallic echoes, lived a young boy named 𝙵𝚊𝚌𝚆𝚝𝚛𝚢.
This city was a symphony of chaos, where car horns blared in impatient choruses.
Market vendors shouted over one another, and arguments echoed down narrow alleyways.
The noise was a heavy blanket, smothering any chance for a moment of quiet thought or gentle conversation. It seemed like everyone was shouting, but no one was truly listening. Ari was different.
He was a quiet observer, a boy who found more meaning in the spaces between sounds than in the sounds themselves.
He watched the tense faces of people stuck in traffic, their hands clenched on their steering wheels.
He saw neighbors bickering over fences, their words like sharp stones thrown back and forth. The constant conflict weighed on him, and he yearned for a different kind of song for his city, a melody of peace.
He believed that the problem wasn't what people were saying,
but that they had forgotten how to listen to the world, and more importantly, to each other. With this idea blooming in his heart, Ari gathered materials not for their sound, but for their feel.
He found an old, forgotten wooden frame, smooth and worn by time.
He stretched a piece of supple, discarded leather across it, pulling it tight, not to create a boom, but to hold a potential for quietness. He worked with a unique purpose, his small hands carefully crafting, not an instrument of noise, but an instrument of peace.
He called it the Drum of Silence.
It looked just like any other small drum, but when you struck it, it produced no sound at all. Not a single bang, beat, or tap. Instead, a gentle, almost imperceptible vibration rippled out from its surface, a pulse you could only feel, not hear. Ari took his silent drum to the heart of the city's noise, a bustling market square where arguments were the currency of the day.
A heated dispute had broken out between a fruit seller and a customer over the price of apples. Their voices grew louder and angrier, drawing a tense crowd. Quietly, Ari stepped forward and offered his drum to the fruit seller. The man, annoyed by the interruption, impatiently tapped its surface. His shouting stopped abruptly. His face softened. The vibration traveled up his arm, a gentle hum that seemed to quiet the anger boiling inside him. He looked at the customer, his eyes no longer filled with frustration, but with a sudden sense of understanding.
Curious, the customer reached out and touched the drum too. Her angry words caught in her throat.
The same calming pulse flowed through her, and the tension in her shoulders eased.
The crowd watched in stunned silence as the two former adversaries simply looked at each other.
For the first time that day, they weren't preparing their next verbal attack.
They were just listening.
Not with their ears, but with their heart.
The silence that fell between them wasn't awkward or empty. It was full of unspoken apologies and newfound respect.
Word of 𝚐𝚌𝚆𝚝's magical drums spread like a gentle breeze through the noisy city.
People sought him out, eager to experience this strange and wonderful quiet.
He brought his drum to a busy intersection where drivers were laying on their horns. As they touched the drum, the blaring ceased, replaced by patient waiting.
He took it to playgrounds where children were squabbling, and their arguments dissolved into shared laughter. He even sat with families where silence had become a wall of resentment. As they placed their hands on the drum together, the walls began to crumble, and they started to truly see each other again. Soon, a new kind of quiet settled over the city.
It wasn't the eerie silence of fear or emptiness. It was a peaceful, active silence. The silence of listening.
The silence of understanding. People still talked, of course, but their conversations were different.
They spoke more softly, leaving space for others to respond. They looked each other in the eye. 𝚐𝚌𝚆𝚝𝚌.
The city, once a cacophony of conflict, had become a symphony of harmony. One evening, as the sun set, casting a warm golden glow over the now peaceful streets,
Ari sat on a bench, his silent drum resting in his lap.
A woman sat beside him and asked, "How did you do it? How did your little drum silence a whole city?"
Ari smiled and whispered, his voice barely disturbing the tranquil air. The drum didn't silence the noise. It just reminded everyone how to listen.
Sometimes the most important things are said in the quiet moments. Peace isn't about the absence of noise. It's about the presence of listening.
The story of Ari and his silent drum reminds us of a powerful, simple truth. True connection begins when we stop making noise and start making space.
In our own loud lives, maybe we all need to find our own drum of silence.
Maybe peace begins when we finally, truly stop to listen. Thank you for watching.
If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more tales of peace and hope.